Good morning, Minxie ladies. Caitlin has came bouncing in today with a beautiful bright coloured outfit to brighten our winter days. And what did that make us think, Caitlin?
Well, we thought that we would talk a little bit about dopamine dressing today. So, lovely Kushla is on school holidays. So while she's away, we're taking over the lives. I'm going to talk you through some of my tips for dopamine dressing. Now, we've talked about this before, but if you haven't heard of dopamine dressing, basically it's dressing in a way to lift your mood. So I'm a massive fan of it. It's the Queenslander in me bringing out the colour and the print. But I feel like on gloomy days like this here, sometimes adding a bit of colour is a really good way to kind of lift your spirits, lift your energy. So I thought, what better way to do that than head to toe pink with a bit of red in there. So I did actually come in some older season white trainers, but we popped the new Sussex in the pink on because how can you go past a pink trainer when you're wearing red and pink head to toe? So super comfy, really good way to add that pop of colour. Now, if head to toe colour is not your jam, something like this is a great way to add that little bit of pop of colour. So dopamine dressing doesn't have to be over the top. It can be subtle. It can be pops of colour or texture or just things that make you feel good. So a bit of glitter, a bit of sheen, a cool buckle, anything like that to lift your mood. So
shall we look at the details on the new Sussex?
Yeah, talk them through, Ella. You probably know more than me.
We've got a smooth leather here mixed with a suede and a mesh.
Yeah,
so it's a
some
mix
cool
of the
contrast
three.
in
Very
the prints.
comfy.
Yep, super comfy. Now, I think I've said a couple of times, since having my third baby, my foot size is kind of sitting in the middle between a 40 and a 41. I've got quite a narrow foot, but I've gone up to a 41 again in these just to get that little bit of extra breadth kind of across my toes because I do get a bit of pain in my toes now after having Matilda. So the 41 feels really good. It's a nice fit. I love a trainer with a dress. It's kind of one of my favorite looks. So adding pink to it, can't go wrong. So let's talk a little bit more about colour. So again, some other ways that you can do it. So we've got our
Victorious.
little, the what?
Victorious.
The what?
Yeah.
The Victorious.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
the what dress? We'll get to dresses in a second.
Oh.
So adding, again, it doesn't have to be full colour, remember. So adding the little pop of colour through the lace and the little heel detail at the back there is another good way to just add that little bit of a pop of colour. You know we've got all our awesome laces that you can switch into any of your shoes to add that colour as well. We also thought we'd show you, we've got the gorgeous bite marks in the candy pink here in HQ as well. So these are a really good one if you are wearing a black outfit, because it's got the black sole on it. It ties in quite nicely with that black sole. So you've got those, and also in the crawler. Now these are back, guys. These sold out so quickly from what the girls told me the first time round. So again, that softer colour. Dopamine dressing doesn't have to be bright colour. It can be texture. It can be subtle colour. It can be print. So anything that gives you those like kind of warm, fuzzy feelings when you put it on and you go, whoo, can't wait to wear that. That's dopamine dressing. So what happens in your brain is these little neurochemicals go, oh, I like this feeling, let's do it again. So basically it's a reward system. So the more that you do it, the more that you feel better. And I know sometimes that instinct is to like hide in like blacks and greys on a kind of like rainy, ruggedy day. But if you are feeling a bit meh, see what happens when you put on a colour or a texture or a print that you love. So yeah, the crawlers are another good way to do that. Again, with the black sole there, really good way to tie in if you do want to wear black on the top as well. But see what happens. Like, I can't wait to see what you guys do. I want you to, that's your homework for today, is to try adding that little pop of colour. Now, speaking of colour, we do have this beautiful rack here. Now, I know you guys might feel like the chiffon in the beautiful colours is a summer layer, but I actually happen to be wearing a chiffon layer as well, so not dissimilar to the scoop neck dress here. And so what I've done underneath it to make it more winter appropriate is I've added our knit slice slip, so a really great layer, and I do actually have a merino slip underneath that as well. You could add tights if you wanted to, and then of course having the warm knit over the top. So don't be scared, particularly up here on the North Island in the slightly milder conditions. You can absolutely wear these, what we think of as summer layers, in a more wintry way. So if you are looking for that pop of colour in your clothing, there's a whole bunch of beautiful colours here that you can play with as well, so it doesn't have to just be in shoes. affectionately call dressing like a crayon today. So that's head to toe in the one color. We call that tonal dressing. So tonal dopamine dressing, head to toe dressing like a crayon. But yeah, that's kind of a couple of ways that we can add color into your look. Is there a question there, Ella?
Marie says, wowie, I love, with lots of red and pink hearts and
Thanks,
flowers.
Yeah.
Sue says, how much of the other Sussex? We have to check up on those. I can reply to you with the price. Oh, Rosemary wants to know, where is that red pink overtop from, please?
It's a little Model Zone. It's a brand called Brave and True. But again, will work so well with like any of the pinks, and I love the idea. So what works really well sometimes is if you have a couple of bold, bright colours. So you can put the blue under the red and pink too. So don't be scared to play with colour. You guys know I am the colour queen here at Minx HQ. It's definitely what I love to do, and I think also, on Wednesdays we wear pink.
Obviously.
So clearly it's a Wednesday pink day. Let's ask Nay. Nay, how much are the Sussex and the pink? Do you know? Can you check that out for us?
And should we also show ladies some chunky shoes that are back that could work for the rainy weather?
Definitely. So the other things that we're focusing on this week is we're focusing on ways to lift your mood in winter. So the other thing we talked about, $2.29 for the Sussex in the beautiful hot pink there. So yeah, one of the other things that we talked about, a way to lift your mood, is to add some height. You know, sometimes when you feel better when you stand taller, and also because it's raining, if you're walking through the puddles, you obviously want that little bit of height as well. So we've picked out a couple of pairs here. So what have we got here, Ella?
Tonic.
The tonic boots here. So again, that really kind of chunky sole there. What I also love is that strip of white up the front just draws the eye up. So it's a really good way kind of to add some height visually, as well as like literally with the height there. So yeah, a great option there to add that extra bit of height on top there. So if it's raining and you're walking through puddles, that's a really good way to do that.
And also the new loafer that's just come back in, which everyone was also asking for. Looks like a bit of you.
Yeah, so something like that there as well. Love the chain detail across the front there. So again, if you don't want to wear a boot but you still want to add height, like I love the idea of these with the leggings, the racer leggings that kind of finish at the ankle. These kind of loafer styles also look great with that straight leg jean. So sometimes the straight leg jean can be a bit trickier to style than a skinny. So having that kind of a straight leg jean finishing on your ankle and then adding that loafer there is a really cool look, particularly when it's a bit milder and you don't have to necessarily wear a full sock with it. Again, the patent really great in the rain as well, because it means that you're not worried. I have this thing where I always feel like wearing suede when it's raining, like it's I think my brain goes all warm and fuzzy, but then obviously suede not ideal in the rain. So having the patent is a really good option as well. So we're gonna put together a bit of content.
Asked Fortune true to size. Is there one on your size to try on?
Let's have a look. Good question. I don't.
40 or no?
There's a 40. Let me have a look here for you. So like I said, I feel like I'm kind of slipping in between the two sizes since having Matilda. So I'm kind of, I would say I'm almost a 40 and a half. But in the loafers, I have been sticking true to size in a 40. So I got the Clash the other day and the 40 was fine, because the thing with a loafer is that you don't want it to be slipping off the back of your foot when you're walking. So let's have a squizzy. Get that out of the way. With my sexy little mesh socks. Yes, 100%. So that's a 40.
Oh, so you would go 40.
Yeah, so I'd say with your usual size. I think because what you don't want to happen, if I went in a 41, I feel like my foot would just be doing that too much. So I think the 40's good. There's enough room in there, but yeah, you want quite a firm fit without being uncomfortable in those. So I would say stick to with your regular size.
So you're a 40 in everything else? Or?
Yeah, in most of the loafers and the trainers I'm a 40. It's just the boots I tend to go up into a 41. But what you can do with a boot is wear that slightly thicker sock as well, and obviously you can lace yourself in. So any of the slip-on shoes, definitely I'd stick to a 40 because which is my usual size. Because you want it to be nice and grippy on your foot there. Now the other thing that we're talking about with Dopamine Dressing and that feel-good factor is our tulle skirts, our amazing Swan Lakes, which are back in stock. Now, doubling down on the colour in the pink. But also this is a really good kind of example of texture. So having the tulle, kind of having that really fun floaty kind of style. It's a kind of skirt that when you walk along, you kind of like flick it. So that's a really good example, even in the darker colors. So you could do the gingham or the cocoa. That's still dopamine dressing for me, because it's something that's fun and flirty, and you can play with it, and that kind of thing as well. So anything that makes you feel good. These are great for this weather. Tights and boots, leather jacket over the top, or big chunky knit over the top could be quite snuggly as well. But you got your bit of fun with your tulle skirt. So another really good example of dopamine dressing. Right, any other questions coming through?
Nope, that's all for today.
No. Now remember, guys, your homework is to go and find something that makes you feel warm and fuzzy, chuck it on today, lift your mood, and then come back and tell us what you did to dopamine dress.
Feel
That's
free
your
to leave a
homework.
comment on the photo below.
Yep, on the photo below.
On the photo
video.
below.
Awesome, guys. See you later. Have a good day.
Bye.